On the lush world of Virelia, the rivers gleamed like liquid crystal under the pale light of twin suns. It was a planet alive with colors humans could barely imagine, trees with leaves of silver and violet, skies that shifted from gold to indigo in moments, and creatures that defied every known classification. Among them were the Virelian cubs, small amphibious beings with glimmering scales and wide, curious eyes, who were notoriously mischievous. But of all the cubs in the river valleys, 3 stood out: Tilo, Runi, and Zeph. They were inseparable, bound by a love for adventure and a single obsession: fishing. Unlike other Virelians, who hunted with energy nets or telekinetic snares, these cubs preferred the old ways, patiently waiting by the riverbank, crafting their own simple lures from river moss and glimmer pebbles. One day, as the twin suns rose, casting long shadows across the sparkling water, the cubs gathered at their favorite fishing spot. The river here was alive with silverfish, creatures that shimmered like stars when they darted beneath the surface. "Today," Tilo declared, "we're going to catch a legendary fish, the Lumifin. It's said to glow brighter than the moon and swim faster than the wind." Runi's eyes widened. "But it lives upstream, in the Canyon of Echoes. That's dangerous." Zeph, ever the boldest, grinned. "Danger is part of adventure. Besides, we're the best fishers in the valley. We can do it." The cubs set off, hopping between stones and paddling through calm pools, their tiny claws leaving ripples on the crystal waters. As they went, the riverside creatures paused to watch. Humans visiting from another world might have overlooked such small beings, but on Virelia, even the smallest cubs had hearts braver than most adults. Hours passed, and the river narrowed into a canyon. The walls echoed their tiny voices, magnifying their excitement and fear. Suddenly, the current grew stronger, threatening to sweep the cubs away. Tilo's small tail thrashed in panic, but Zeph reminded him to focus. Using a clever combination of spinning moss lures and quick reflexes, they anchored themselves to a boulder and moved carefully forward. Finally, in a quiet pool at the canyon's heart, a glow shimmered beneath the water. The Lumifin. Its scales radiated colors none of the cubs had seen before: blues and purples that danced in the light, edges that sparkled like diamonds. Runi's mouth dropped open. "It's beautiful," but beauty alone wouldn't help them catch it. The fish darted in and out, teasing the cubs, testing their patience. For an hour, the 3 worked in harmony, their small voices calling instructions to each other, tails and fins coordinating with near-perfect precision. It was a dance as old as the rivers themselves. Finally, Tilo saw an opening. "Now," he cried. Zeph cast their moss lure, spinning it in a wide arc, and the Lumifin leapt, its glowing body lighting up the canyon like a meteor. With a snap of Runi's tail, the lure tangled around its fin, just long enough for them to hold it steady. The 3 cubs gasped, hearts pounding. They had done it. They were a team. And yet, as they looked at the magnificent creature, something inside them stirred a sense of respect, even awe. The Lumifin wasn't theirs to keep. It was a guardian of the river, a creature of the wild, magnificent in ways that deserved freedom. With a nod among themselves, the cubs released the Lumifin. It paused for a moment, as if acknowledging their choice, before shooting upstream, leaving a trail of sparkling light behind it. That was incredible," Zeph whispered. Tilo grinned. "We didn't just catch it, we learned from it." Runi laughed, splashing water at her brothers. "And maybe scared ourselves half to death doing it." As they made their way back home, the river reflecting the fading light of the twin suns, the cubs felt something extraordinary. They were small, yes. Insignificant, some might have thought. But they had courage, teamwork, and the heart to make choices that mattered not for themselves, but for the world around them. By the time the stars began to appear in Virelia's sky, the cubs were back at their favorite fishing spot. They didn't catch another fish that evening, but it didn't matter. They had stories now, stories of courage, respect, and wonder. And in the quiet of the river valley, under a canopy of shimmering stars, the cubs' laughter echoed, tiny but unyielding, a reminder that even the smallest beings could change the flow of a river, or the course of their own destiny. The legend of the Lumifin would live on, and so would the legend of Tilo, Runi, and Zeph, the small alien cubs who fished not just for food, but for adventure, friendship, and the thrill of the unknown. And somewhere, in the deepest pools of Virelia's rivers, the Lumifin swam on, A glowing testament to the bond between courage and compassion and the truth that the smallest hands, claws, or tails could touch the universe in ways no one expected.